Hello. My name is Richard Ardley and I work for a company called Pavegen. We make a smart flooring technology product which converts the kinetic energy of your footsteps into a small amount of useful off-grid electricity, which we then use for interesting interactive engagement habits and activities. Apart from looking cool, we think it's highly engaging and it's useful to help with activities. So the reason for this, the population is increasing. At present we've got 7.4 billion people on the planet. These figures are only going to grow, and there's going to be even more people living in cities and urban environments. Originally, 100 years ago, the cities developed around the use of the car, and at Pavegen we would like people to develop cities around people, not around machines. So how it works, they're rather distinctive triangular tiles. Underneath each corner is a generator, which a vertical displacement of about 4 to 10 millimeters generates 3 to 4 joules of energy. The generators have copper wires and magnets. Apart from looking very cool, it can also be used to generate a small amount of energy, which 3 to 5 joules of energy turns on an LED light for about 2 seconds. Obviously, more footsteps results in more energy. Our ambition is to improve cities through the power of a single footstep and to be the digital layer in the future of urban environments, as well as having renewable energy and sustainability at the heart of the message. You've heard of the Internet of Things. We like to talk about the Internet of Beings. So it's providing that extra layer of interaction and engagement. Despite the proliferation of social media, loneliness and isolation is an increasing issue. So we like to think that Pavegen provides an extra layer of contact in an urban environment. How do we provide that layer of contact? Underneath each of the generators, we have a Bluetooth beacon, which then connects with your phone and obviously an app to integrate in whichever way. We provide a simple platform where it communicates footsteps and who you are, and then your app would integrate with it to do whatever you might like. In terms of engagement and interactivity, in terms of an advertising medium, Pavegen presents a much more memorable point of interaction. So I always like to describe it as almost a personification of a Facebook like. In the same way that people get a small dopamine release from a social media like or share, people enjoy seeing things happen in front of them. We all need to be an agent of change in our own world. We all like to be seen and heard, and believe it or not, when people stand on Pavegen tiles and something happens, it reveals a message or a light comes on, it delivers a small dopamine release in the brain, which hopefully connects you to that environment and that message in a greater, more powerful way. On this video, I would ask you to look at the people, not at the locations, just to see the example of how people do get pleasure from these interactions. It was born out of experiential activity and marketing, but we obviously realised that there could be useful, long-term useful applications for this in permanent installations. We're in places like Abu Dhabi Airport and the University of Birmingham. We've worked with brands like Google and Mitsubishi. To date, we've had about 500 million footsteps on Pavegen. We believe it's a powerful tool for encouraged behavioural change. So apart from education, bringing awareness around sustainability and renewable energy, it can help channel footfall in public spaces, incentivise people to walk in certain areas or return to those areas more often, whilst driving awareness around sustainability. We have a shopping mall in Romford, for example, where we convert your footsteps into a virtual currency, which you can then spend as loyalty points in that shopping mall. And we are extremely popular with media. So it's an interesting story. Pavements that make electricity when you walk on them is always going to be popular with the papers. So it's a even greater access to your audience. We'd like to change the world one step at a time. So.
Thank you so much, Richard. Okay, let's measure the dopamine level in your questions. Thank you.
Thanks for the presentation. Fascinating technology. My questions would be around economics. Yep. Because one of the problems with any kind of infrastructure issue is the cost, not just of initial investment, but of maintenance in particular. So what do you think about that? And also, when you show these wonderful engineering items, those materials themselves require a lot of energy to create. So what's the kind of life cycle analysis of this as compared with, say, ordinary pavement, cement, and so forth?
We anticipate it to have a life cycle of about 15 to 20 years. And yes, at present, we believe that with extra investment, we can hopefully reduce the embedded carbon in the product, bearing in mind it's all about sustainability and renewable energy. But yes, that is a good question, but we hope to improve that with further investment.
And about durability and maintenance compared to...
It's very tough. It is very tough. So, I'd be surprised if anybody could break one of the tiles. I mean, there's a possibility a generator could get stuck or jammed, but it's very easy to maintain, take apart and replace bits as needed.
You have 500 million data points about footfall and user behavior. So what are you doing at a meta-analytics level to interpret all of that sort of raw data?
One of our investors is a guy called Jeff Martin. Thank you. One of our investors is a guy called Jeff Martin who worked at Apple, and he helped bring iTunes to market. He has a company called Trouble Planet, so we're partnering with him on the data side of things. Pavegen was originally thought of as purely an energy tool, and as we developed it, we realized that the data side of things could be a more powerful way of changing people's minds and bringing awareness to things. So that is an area where we're developing further, but working with Jeff and his team.
Please go ahead, Peter.
Okay, devil's advocate, why is this not a gimmick? Surely these are really expensive. Surely conventional pavements are much cheaper. Surely there are much more cost-effective ways of making energy. Why is this just not a gimmick? It's fun, it's great, but we're not really going to put it everywhere, right?
So it's not an energy solution. It won't provide you with an ROI in terms of energy. But it is an extremely engaging and interactive tool for bringing awareness around certain types of messaging. From the energy point of view, yes, you could get more power from a solar panel, but you can't really interact with a solar panel or a wind turbine. So it's the only renewable energy that you would play a participatory role in.
What's the market then? The market is to advertising? Who are you selling it to, and what's it for then? Yeah,
brand communication is one, but our verticals would be smart cities, smart destinations, so transport hubs, universities and schools, retailers, any building where it's a public space and a company could connect with its employees in a greater way, a city could connect with its citizens, and a brand could connect with its employees.
So you're really saying this is data analytics?
We believe that the data element to it is stronger.
In which case,
and more valuable.
What about privacy? Do we need to inform people that their footsteps are being recorded every time they walk?
That would be as part of whichever app we then integrated with. So yes, that would be covered off by signing up for that app.
Thank you for your questions, honored judges. Thank you very much, Richard. Please take a seat.